Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! If you're somebody who loves Descendants and Zombies with all of their heart, then I think this could be the YouTube channel for you. Give me a chance over the next 20 minutes to share with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies and how I discovered its power. And I promise you guys I will give you a reason to hit my subscribe button more than ever before. Because there are thousands of content creators that revolve their content around Descendants and Zombies just hoping that you're going to watch their video and you're going to hit their subscribe button. I've never wanted you to hit my subscribe button because of me, because I'm the content creator behind all this magic that happens for this YouTube channel behind the scenes every night. I wanted you to hit the subscribe button for this YouTube channel because you are a die-hard fan and supporter of Descendants and Zombies and your favorite characters and your favorite stars because you love them with all of their heart. And I'm here to tell you guys there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants and Zombies because I'm just like you. From the very first moment I saw Descendants, I knew that the stars that made up the cast were going to go on to achieve greatness and become something special. And I just wanted to share in that. I wanted to become a part of the soundtrack of Descendants and Zombies. And having that honor to become just that for thousands of people who saw something special in every video I created was such a huge honor for me. And one that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. Thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel time and time again as your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel. The one channel that has been constant and has brought us that much closer together, made us the best of friends, and allowed us to share our stories with each other about how we're fans of people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson and Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker. Because no matter what generation of Descendants fans we remember being a part of, we all took something special away from this franchise. And we will never ever forget the profound impact and the imprint that it left on our heart because of the music, because of the beautiful story, how the characters had such wonderful chemistry and they were so supportive of each other. The one thing that always jumped out about me about the script were that people like Freya, Skye, and Malachi Burton were forever supportive of each other and they were there for each other for every critical moment and every step of the way. I don't think there ever was a night where Malachi Burton never called Freya Skye just to check on her to see how she was dealing with the cope of the stress of being a part of the Descendants and Zombies franchises. It was a lot to have to deal with, and she was so young coming into the industry, and I think what she wanted more than anything else in the world was the love and support of a friend. And she found that in Malachi. I know there are a lot of people out there that have offered criticism towards the friendship between Malachi and Freya, but that's only because they don't have a greater appreciation for how much their friendship means to each other. If you notice anything about the interviews that Freya Skye does for PR that comes with being a star of the Zombies franchise, she always says that she loves Malachi Burton with all of her heart. And that's something that I've really had a greater appreciation for because we have never seen that from any past generations of Disney. We've seen it with Descendants and Zombies, though, because these stars are incredibly supportive of each other, and that's something I can never seem to get enough of or show enough appreciation for. So when it comes to recording these videos with my thoughts in them on people like Freya and Malachi all the time, I just want to say something nice. And I just want to be a part of a conversation that gives people hope for that definitive future. Because it is a definitive future where their stars are going to shine brighter than ever before. Leg one of the Stars Align World Tour is just one way of looking at it. Freya had the time of her life in places like Toronto. At the Massey Hall in Toronto, she gave one of her greatest performances. The house was packed. There were thousands of people who came out of love and support for Freya. And the one thing that stood out to me was just how appreciative she was of that moment she had to share in with each and every one of you. Because it gave you a chance to get to know Freya for the person she was, and it gave you a chance to introduce yourselves to Freya, to let her know how passionate you felt about her and how much she meant to each and every one of your hearts and your souls. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been a part of this experience and just to have been a part of the soundtrack of Descendants and Zombies. I have become one of the most recognizable voices in the history of Descendants and Zombies, perhaps because of how I could tell a story or how I could profile these milestone events, these moments in history that we all had the chance to be a part of and truly witness. Because from the first moment we saw Descendants and Zombies, we all had the chance to be a part of something so special. And these stars have become so much stronger and truly evolved in an industry where it's always difficult to evolve and really come into your own, to really find your place in history. People like Kylie Cantrell, Meg Donnelly struggle with this all the time. And I just put it out there in videos every night that there's nothing wrong with struggling and everybody is far from perfect. We're all created equal. But it's never been any reflection on who Kylie Cantrell, Meg Donnelly, and even Freya Skye are as people because they're such influencers. And you guys take so much inspiration away from their fashion sense, what they love, what they don't necessarily like about life. You guys hear them. And the thing is, because you hear their voices when they're talking to you in these vlogs, at these meet and greets, that's what makes these moments so special, and that's what makes them stronger people. That's what makes us stronger together, is that we can share in our passions for Descendants of Zombies so effectively. Far more effectively than I could ever share my passion for Hannah Montana back in 2006, because it was very difficult to find your place within a niche until Descendants of Zombies kind of just happened for me, and more people love Descendants of Zombies than perhaps ever given credit for. Precisely 10.5 million people watch Descendants of Zombies every night on TV. And that's really incredible that 10.5 million people have been brought that much closer together and seemingly feel inseparable because of Descendants of Zombies. Because no matter who we are, we all have that one special friend who loves Descendants of Zombies with all of their heart. And we talk to them about it every night on the phone, giving our predictions and our theories and our character breakdowns and our somewhat of a review of what we think is going to happen next. All we know at this moment is that Zombies 5 is coming at some time in 2027. We don't know what the tentative date is, what the release window is looking like. We do know there's going to be a lot of criticism and a lot of rumors associated with it. But I'm here to break it down, and I'm here to help you make sense of everything Descendants of Zombies. While other YouTube content creators will promise you the same thing, I promise you that I will always be here, and I will always be the one guy to come through because he had a passion for Disney, and he remembered growing up in the Disney Renaissance era. He remembered playing classic arcade games during his time when he had free time. He would go to the arcade and he would play classic Disney games on arcade machines and have the time of his life, spend all his money and come home and tell you guys about it on his radio show or his YouTube channel, just hoping for 1,000 subscribers and 1 million likes. It will be really cool, the more that I think about it, to be everybody's favorite content creator and have a chance of going down in history as the greatest content creator of all time. Now, I know in order for that to happen, virtually every fan of Descendants of Zombies in this universe, because the world is often too small to take into consideration how many fans of Descendants of Zombies are out there. So let me say it like this. It would virtually take every fan of Descendants of Zombies' universe to subscribe here to this YouTube channel for me to have even the slightest chance of going down in history and even making it as the greatest content creator of all time. But it's all about how you present that content, and it's all about how you can tell a story. And I've loved having the chance to resonate with more people than ever before, telling you stories about how passionate I was about Kylie Cantrell and how she deserved more of a chance than anybody. And take it from a guy who was a fan of everybody. Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus, Demi Lovato, even Bridget Miller can end up in this conversation because I was a huge fan of Bridget Miller years ago. Her work for Wizards Beyond Waverly Place and, of course, Good Luck Charlie was something I never ever forgot, and her music was incredibly beautiful. So take it from a guy who was a fan of every Disney Channel star there was, and I had nothing but nice things to say about them, and I just want to be a part of this conversation with more people than perhaps ever before, because there are millions more fans of Disney now than there were of the generations that I had the chance to be a part of, because it was a very different generation. I mentioned how I had the chance to grow up in the Disney Renaissance era, which was an era that was prided by Disney's original characters like Aladdin and Mulan and Hercules and all these wonderful characters that could tell a story, because what made those stories stand out were how for every hero there had to be a villain, and for every villain there had to be a hero, and we all took something special away from it. Because before we ever heard the story of Hercules told by Disney, we thought Hercules was just a character that threw Mount Olympus over his head into outer space. Before we ever heard the story of the Little Mermaid from Disney's perspective, we thought that Ariel was just a mermaid that was swimming at sea, lost for forever. But these stories represented true love. They represented hope and a second chance for everybody, because Disney told his own version of those stories and really brought them to life. And I think we saw hope, second chances, how one could find true love in these stories that were told firsthand by Descendants of Zombies in a very powerful way from what we remembered them in books. And the thing is, I do apologize. I've been suffering from a cold over the last couple of days, and I haven't seemed to get over it. I don't know what's going on with me, but I do apologize for that. The thing is, getting back to what I was saying, the thing is, we've heard so many different versions of this story told time and time again, these stories told. But no other franchises could tell these stories as effectively as what Descendants and Zombies have been able to tell them. And I felt more than honored to be a part of it. I've taken away so much inspiration from these stars, and they've shown me so much incentive. They really inspired me to keep on creating YouTube and to just be here every night talking about Descendants and Zombies, which many of you think is cool. You guys think this is the coolest Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time, perhaps one of the best, and I feel more than honored to have created this for you, because the thing is, once you put your art out there on YouTube, it is no longer your art. It becomes the art of every fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I felt more than honored to put this art out there in an art gallery for you guys to walk through. Because if you notice anything about this YouTube channel, there is virtually something here for everybody who may have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies, who may have taken away a special song or a definitive moment that made them a fan of this franchise. Because as I just said, no matter who we were, we all took something special away from the story of Descendants and Zombies, and we've all felt a part of something special for many years, at least the last 10 years. And this has been a decade, while I can't speak for other content creators out there, that I know that I will never ever forget, that I will always have a special place in my heart for because it touched my heart in so many unbelievable ways. And the cool thing about this YouTube channel is each time that you tell this story about how you feel about a character like Mal, for instance, or a character like Red, the thing is you have a chance to tell it differently. So it's never told the same way. You never say the same thing over again, and you just tell the story differently, just hoping that somebody is going to really understand where you're coming from, because no matter who you are, you had a reason for liking Descendants. It was either because of the music, the characters, how colorful the scheme was. It was just something that drew you in. You felt kind of compelled. And you've been in love with it ever since. I venture to say there are more people who have watched Descendants and Zombies over 100 times, if never 1,000 times. And each time that you watched it, have you ever noticed that it seems different? The story is never told the same way, because you're left wondering what's happening next. What characters are we going to see by the time we get to Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland? Descendants 6 possibly. There is an extensive library of characters who we have seen become a part of something special and who have had the chance to be a part of something special, but even a more extensive library of characters who have yet to see their introduction into this franchise. There are characters even from Alice in Wonderland, for instance, who we have yet to see make their introduction into the franchise. And I think that the introductions of characters like, say, Alice from Alice in Wonderland would be a wonderful addition to this story, because she could present a lot of controversy and far more unpredictable moments than perhaps we have ever seen. Because when you think about it, the story of the Rise of Red pretty much just focused on the friendships and the trials and tribulations of both Red and Chloe, and how much their friendship would go on to mean to each other. Eventually they would become friends with Bridget, the young Queen of Hearts, and Bridget realized that probably she could be more friends with more people than just Ella, but the one thing that she always held on to was the fact that Ella was her one and only friend that she only ever needed. And the thing was, Ella felt the same way about her, and that's how they connected. And I think that through introducing more characters into this franchise, it presents a lot of more unpredictable moments, and moments that we will hold close to our hearts. And I think that that would be really cool for fans of Descendants of Zombies, because we've forever been waiting on a love interest for Red to kind of just show up. We have no idea who it's going to be, but if you follow along with the book series, it suggests that Ace could show up in the franchise and be one of Red's first ever love interests, to create more of a story that could be more compelling and more interesting to a lot of fans. So I think whatever your hope is for the future of Descendants of Zombies, you should continue on believing in that, because there are way too many people out there who feel very passionate about Descendants of Zombies, who have never wanted to let go and who have never wanted to say goodbye. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I am one of those guys that falls into that category of never having wanted to say goodbye, because it's such an emotional story. It's a story that brought us that much closer together and gave me a chance to be heard and seen by more people than ever before. And I don't even want to think about the day where we have to say goodbye, but who says we ever have to? Because as long as there's a chance of believing in forever and believing in such things as magic and happily ever after, I want to encourage that. And I want to be a part of that, because I know there's somebody out there that feels the same way and feels just as strongly about Descendants of Zombies as what I do. People are realizing their dreams more than ever before because they were a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and Descendants of Zombies is where it all began for them. Because from the first moment you saw the zombie story, you loved Zed and Addison's love story, and you never ever wanted this to be over. You wanted to give this more of a chance than ever before, because you saw yourself through the eyes of the characters Zed and Addison, because they wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, more than anything else in the world. No matter who we are, we've all had that one special friend that we tell everything to, that we call every night, and we think about having the chance of spending the rest of our lives with, because they mean so much to us. And again, there's nothing ever wrong with admitting to that. And I think because we only ever have so many chances to tell people in our lives what they truly mean to us, I think we should take full advantage of that, because the most precious commodity in life has always been time. And why, you may ask that? Because time, we never seem to know how much of it we actually have. And the question always surfaces, what would we do with more time if we had it? Will we go back in time to fix our mistakes we left undone? Will we go back in time just to tell more people that we thought the world over how much we love them and how much we appreciate them? Because as I just said, we're all far from perfect. And that's very valuable lessons that Descendants and Zombies in some way or somehow have taught all of us, and made us all better people, because we feel more passionate about our goals and our dreams, the people we surround ourselves with every day. Even though sometimes things that happen to us never really make a whole lot of sense, we're in this together. And that's what's so cool about Descendants and Zombies, how emphatically it brought us that much closer together and gave us a chance to share with each other our stories about why we were fans of Descendants and Zombies and why we've loved it for what feels like forever. I've never wanted to say goodbye to these franchises, so why should we ever have to? Why can't we just believe in it? Because long after Descendants and Zombies has surpassed us, I will continue to live through their legacies. Because that's what I'm here to do, is ensure the legacies of your favorite stars live on forever and eternally. And I know you feel the same way. And that's what makes this YouTube channel so special for me as the content creator. Being able to create such wonderful content that resonates with more people than perhaps I've ever been given credit for, because there is something special for everybody who may have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies on this YouTube channel. And I take great pride in uploading and creating that content each and every single night, because you only ever have a limited number of chances to make a video count, to put a video out into the algorithm and hope for 1,000 views, if never a million, or 1,000 likes. And every single like that I've ever gotten, or every single subscriber who has ever subscribed for me and been here with me from the very beginning, means the world to me. Because without you, there is no Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. And without you, there would never have been any Descendants and Zombies franchises that would go on to exceed all of our expectations as journalists and critics. Because far too many people on YouTube are critics. And that's not what you want to see, nor is that what you want to hear. It's about time somebody showed up on YouTube and told you how he felt about Descendants and Zombies, rather than just offering you probably 5 predictions or his top favorite moments. We all do that. Everybody has a story, no matter if they want to admit to it or not. And I've just told you my story in a very different way by shedding some light on Descendants and Zombies, so you got to know me for the person I was while I told you this story, which was told in a very powerful way from other YouTube creators, which separated this YouTube channel from far too many YouTube creators out there who attempt their hand at talking about Descendants and Zombies. I always believed that if we were going to say anything about Kylie Control, we should at least say something nice, and we should give her more of a reason to believe in herself more than ever before, because honestly, guys, people like her and Ruby and Malia are some of the strongest people that I've ever had the chance to talk about and profile. And if I was going to profile them, I was going to give you hope, if anything, for that future that had everything to do with your favorite stars. And I've had the time of my life being able to do that and shine through in light of all the criticism, because there are far too many critics on YouTube every night who have something to say about this franchise and share with the world to let it be known. But all I've ever wanted to do is be a part of this conversation and share in this really life-changing experience for me, this metamorphosis, this evolution of Descendants and Zombies. And I've loved every moment of it. And even with how many fans of Descendants and Zombies I have already met, I know I have my work cut out for me, because this story is far from over, and I still have so many fans of Descendants and Zombies that I have yet to meet, that I look forward to meeting in the very near future. So if you are one of them watching this video, send a heart out and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and let everybody know how much you love this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for forever being supportive of what we created together. I may have created this YouTube channel one night at random by myself, but this YouTube channel obviously became something very special for a lot of people, far more people than perhaps ever given credit for, and I've had the time of my life resonating with them and sharing with them my story, a story I never imagined would have the chance of being heard and being accepted by so many wonderful people, because ever since falling into this niche, I've had no regrets, and I've always wanted to be here. I've never wanted to go anywhere else, and I think I will stay here for the rest of my life. Thank you so much for allowing me to have fallen into this niche and forever have been acceptant of how I felt about Descendants of Zombies, because you guys being acceptant of how I felt about Descendants of Zombies has truly meant the world to me, and it's given me a chance to share with the world my story and to have that story be heard by more people than ever before. I look forward to the very bright futures of your favorite stars and just being a part of it and being here with you guys. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much forever and always for having watched these videos. It's been so fun for me creating these videos, and I hope you've had just as much fun watching every video I've had the honor to create. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time and spending your weekend with me. The weekend's not over yet. We still have Sunday, which is tomorrow, and I will be back with a brand new video as bright as early as 8:35 to 9:05 a.m. I know for many of you that's really early, but we'll pick up this conversation when we're left off bright and early tomorrow morning. It's Sunday. What else are we going to do? Watch Descendants of Zombies videos to send off the weekend. Thank you so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, and thank you so much for having watched this video.